The journey on the train was the most excruciating wait he had ever endured. Despite knowing that his family was somewhat safe and alright, Kentaro couldn't stop bouncing his leg and pacing up and down the carriage the whole time. He had to look like a madman to the other late-night travelers outside the team, but he couldn't care less about them. The only thing on his mind was to get home. Forever grateful to their assistant manager who offered to stay behind and oversee the pickup of their things from the hotel, he sprinted through the Tokyo main station with just his sports bag to get to the platform with trains to Sendai, only to learn the Shinkansens wouldn't run past Fukushima due to safety reasons. Fuck, I get it, but fuck, what now? His legs hurt from all the pacing he was doing even after he sat down on the train, his hands still shaking a little as he quickly searched for alternative routes to Sendai. Tens of thousands of yen disappeared from his account as he booked all the needed transport, but if it was about to get him to Shigeru, it was worth it. He could get a part-time job if needed to replace his lost savings. He couldn't get Shigeru to safety by being stingy with money. Just hope he wasn't playing a hero. Anything but that. The thought made his blood run cold, just like picturing his beloved bleeding out somewhere because he refused to admit he got hurt. It wouldn't be the first time, but back then, he was at least close by to help. And knowing Shigeru, he wouldn't ask for aid from their neighbors either. Stop. He's fine. At the very least, he would never endanger Aiko if he got hurt. That didn't calm him down much, but a flicker of hope was better than nothing. The moment the train came to a halt in Fukushima, he ran to the bus station to get at least slightly closer before he would be forced to spend all his savings on a taxi. He wasn't the only one panicking, that much was obvious given how many people he had to avoid to get on the bus. The relief once the bus started to move being very much short-lived. He tried not to think about the possible damage he was about to witness too much, but the closer to Sendai they got, the more his heart sank as he watched the emergency lights flashing everywhere, as well as the occasionally cracked road and debris scattered around the streets. I hope the house held up. Shige had to get them out. He stopped himself before he could think more about it, clinging to the little hope he had instead. It's fine, he's fine, all of them are fine. The sky already started to color yellow and blue when he finally got out of the taxi. He thanked the driver profusely after the man managed to take him almost to their street, and then just sprinted towards their home, repeating the reassuring mantra in his head over and over as he avoided the emergency personnel clearing up the area. The good news seemed to be that he was mostly met with fire trucks, but the rational part of his mind soon reminded him that the ambulances had most definitely already gotten everyone needing medical attention into the hospital. Most of the houses in their streets seemed to survive the quakes in one piece, thankfully. He spotted a few fallen walls and some sunken roofs, but overall the damage was less than he worried. Which, however, didn't have to mean anything. His lungs burned when he finally reached their garden, the biggest sigh of relief leaving his mouth when, in the shadow of the cracked wall, he saw Shigeru curled on the ground by their car, and with Aiko settled inside in the car seat. Bruno perked up immediately, giving a quiet huff as his tail started to wag, although he didn't move from his spot by Shigeru's legs. Such a good boy. Shigeru seemed startled by Bruno's sudden motion, his breath hitching when Kentaro fell to his knees and hugged him. He knew his first instinct should have been to hug Aiko, as actual parent would. But he trusted Shigeru's word, trusted he did everything in his power to protect their little girl. He didn't need to worry about her, only about her father. Goodness. You came home? Yeah. He wanted to say so much more. Apologize for not being there when Shigeru needed him. Say sorry for the argument. Ask again if he really was alright and unharmed. But when he tried, the words choked him up. Perhaps with fright, perhaps with the sheer force of relief that washed over him now that he held his husband in his arms. He found himself tightening the embrace, his hands trembling where they clutched Shigeru's sweatshirt, the only source of calm coming from the weaker grip around him. That is, until a jolt rushed through Shigeru's body, accompanied by a barely hearable, but no less startling yelp. He let go immediately, his worries back in full strength. What's wrong? What hurt? Nothing. It's nothing. Don't say nothing. You were in pain a second ago. He cradled Shigeru's face in his palms, holding back with everything he had to not squeeze or shake to get the answer from him. He should have known better. Shigeru never told him the truth when he was hurting, inside or on his body, especially after a fight. What of it that they didn't yell at each other? What of it that he just meant to push Shigeru to be confident in his abilities as a parent? It always ended the same way, with Shigeru's self-esteem and spirit shattered. You gotta tell me if you got hurt. We have to take you to a doctor if... The hospitals are busy already, with people who need it more. Need it more? So you are hurt. Where? What happened? Shigeru visibly hesitated, his lower lip quivering while his eyes darted to their house and to peacefully sleeping Aiko in the car. It broke Kentaro's heart to see him so scared, apparently enough to make him forget Kentaro could never be upset with him. He caressed Shigeru's cheeks, his fingers curling in the soft silver hair. Please tell me, love. I want to help if you are in pain. Another pause, too long for Kentaro's liking, before Shigeru's eyes avoided his gaze. The bookshelf in Aiko's room fell over. I tried to get her away, but I was too slow and couldn't. That wasn't the whole story, but Kentaro didn't need to hear more to make a picture of what had to happen last night. The guilt in Shigeru's eyes constricting his chest. This was his work, his fault. He made Shigeru doubt again with that stupid argument and then leaving instead of talking it out. He wouldn't even be surprised if that dreaded pause when he called was Shigeru being shocked he cared enough to ask about his well-being, despite it being the most important question he asked. Did it fall on you? Cold shudder ran through his body when Shigeru nodded, his worry spiking again. The bookshelf was possibly one of the heaviest pieces of furniture they owned, besides the couch and wardrobe maybe. It was supposed to withstand someone accidentally pushing it or pulling on it since it was in a kid's room. Earthquake was too much, it seemed, though. He tucked Shigeru closer, carefully inspecting the back of his head for injuries, his concern only growing despite not seeing any blood. Are you dizzy? No, maybe a little bit. That also wasn't a complete truth, and Kentaro was quickly getting desperate. Then what hurts? Your back? Shigeru bit his lip and then nodded, wincing with the motion. My arm hurts. He lifted his right arm, moving his fingers as if trying and failing to flex them into a fist before it fell back to his side. It's weak. I don't know why. Could be some messed up nerves in your shoulder. We should really go to a hospital. It's not that bad, really, and... He stopped and quickly turned to Aiko, who seemed to wake up at the sudden commotion they caused, judging by her soft sniffles. I should have taken Aiko to a doctor first, think. The whispered words barely reached Kentaro's ears, the unsaid implication in them worrying him maybe even more than Shigeru's injury. Gently, he took Shigeru's hand, squeezing tight while he patted Aiko's hair, soft smile curling his lips as her little sniffles stopped immediately. You did everything to protect her, I know that, like a true parent. So let me take care of you two now, okay? You need someone to look at you to make sure you are okay. But... Shige, you did everything you could. I couldn't and wouldn't ask for more. He pulled Shigeru back into a hug, much more careful now. I've never been so scared in my life than when I heard what happened and couldn't reach you. I was so scared you were hurt or worse, that I would never see you again, and the last thing I told you would make you think I was upset with you. A shudder of breath fell from Shigeru's lips. You have right to be. No, I don't. And I'm not upset with you. I could never be. I'm so sorry I left without talking it out. He hesitated for a beat, but then kissed Shigeru's forehead, much relieved when Shigeru leaned into the touch. We can work on everything together. Later, when we are sure you two are absolutely fine. So let's go to a hospital, okay? Then we will get our stuff and go to stay with my family for a while before they check if the house is safe. Sounds good? Are you sure your parents won't mind us showing up out of nowhere? I'll let them know before we go. And no, I'm sure they won't mind. They'll just be happy you two are okay. Shigeru still seemed hesitant, at least until Aiko could in her car seat, babbling quite contentedly if Kentaro could judge as she waved her arms towards him. Okay. Good. Sit in, I'll drive. He whistled at Bruno to jump into the back seat as well, keeping an eye on Shigeru's face as he sat into the passenger's seat while making a mental note of the little flinches around his eyes whenever he moved his upper body. However, as much as it scared him to see his beloved in pain and the urge to just call an ambulance instead grew within him, he was glad he managed to convince him to go to the doctor at all. And so he just squeezed Shigeru's hand, giving him hopefully a reassuring smile as he backed out of the driveway, heading straight into the hospital.